Jake Paul and Nate Robinson are fighting on November 28th, this Saturday. And it's the culmination of breakdown after breakdown, week after week of analyzation, criticism, praise. Some guys, you don't give me credit for that praise, but I do be praising, you understand? Not like the Lord and everything, but I give credit where it's due, you understand? But here we are, days away, and it's time for predictions, guys. I've been saying let's hold off on predictions. We're not quite there yet, but finally, we are here. Prediction time. Nate Robinson versus Jake Paul. Man, oh man, here we are. Okay. I think you guys have an idea after all of the time we've spent breaking these two down, where I'm leaning with this, but let's talk about it and let's talk about why. So Jake versus Nate. This is a 6-round fight. I honestly don't see it going to 6. I really don't. Listen, my prediction is pretty simple. Jake Paul is far and away better at this point, in my opinion, and that is a culmination of experience, not only in training boxing, but also in-ring experience. He understands how to fight in front of massive crowds, even though I don't think that'll be the case here. He understands how to go through a little adversity. In the Deji fight, he wasn't really getting hit all that much, but he was having to stay in there. He couldn't get Deji out of there. The headgear probably played a factor in that. He understands what it feels like to have a knockout victory or a TKO victory, to knock an opponent down, to have that confidence to know he can do it. And what we've seen from their training, listen, I don't know, again, I'm not going to comment on the level of ability from the sparring partners of Jake Paul, but at least we've seen some sparring partners of Jake Paul. I know you guys keep telling me there's Nate Robinson sparring out there. I saw a little bit of it, but it wasn't enough I could take away from going into this fight. Jake, on the other hand, I've seen full matches. I've seen full contests. I've seen rounds. I've seen sparring partners leading up to this. I've seen improvement. And listen, he looks sharp. He looks ready to go. For the level that he's fighting at, he looks pretty damn good. I have to say that because I haven't seen anything from Nate that would make me think otherwise. That would make me think, okay, Nate's gonna school this kid. That doesn't seem like it's the case at all. What it looks like to me is both guys are training their asses off. Both guys are taking this very seriously, and both guys want to compete. As someone that loves combat sports and wants to see guys go out there and take it seriously if they are learning the sport and it's not just some publicity stunt, both guys are doing that. I commend both guys. I give credit to both guys for that. But the differences will show in the ring. And in my opinion, it'll be pretty simple. Jake will be in there fighting. Nate will be in there thinking. I think Nate is, like I said, still learning the sport, so the things won't flow as naturally as a guy that understands the fight game, understands where he needs to be, that his movements are not thought-based, they are reaction-based, they are free, they are flowing, they are in the moment. Whereas I think Nate will be in his own head. I feel like he will be trying to remember the combinations he worked on and hit them just like he hit them on the pads, and that's not how a real fight works. It's just not. Once he gets hit in the face, once he gets punched, and his shots don't land, then what happens? How do you adjust then? What happens when a couple of shots don't land? What happens when you lose a round? What happens when you get knocked down? Does the pad man come in and say, all right, let's shake it out here, hit your 1, 2, 3 count? No, he doesn't do that. And if Jake's not there for the 1, 2, 3, if Jake's not there for the jab and he's sliding out of the way and he's hitting you with body shots and you're tired and you're hurt, then what do you do? Because again, the reason I bring this up, I know what Jake does. I've seen Jake get hit in the face. I've seen Jake bleed. I've seen him go through a 5-round fight. He stays there. Now, granted, he hasn't been really hit and hurt badly. So we haven't seen Jake on wobbly legs either. So there's a question on the other side of the aisle too. But listen, I think that Jake batters him early. I think he gets in Nate's face. I think he comes out very aggressive on Nate. And Nate Robinson's gonna have to weather a storm. I think Jake comes out patient but aggressive, meaning I think he moves forward on Nate, tries to draw the shots out. We know that Jake likes to throw that uppercut, left hook, or the left hook right straight behind it. Those are his two big kind of combo finishers. Those are his two big shots, and I think he lands those at will against Nate. We know that Jake has a pretty decent jab too, so he's going to use that as a range finder, obviously being the bigger, longer guy, keep Nate out of range, and then find his own. If he can touch him with the jab, then that right hand, you best believe, is coming right behind it. So, like I said, I think Jake comes out aggressive, patient but aggressive early in the first. I think he puts it on Nate very quickly. Sees, what does Nate have? Is he going to be able to stand up to the shots? And if Nate is able to stand up to the shots, that bodes well for Nate. That means, listen, you got a fight on our hands. We got 6 rounds of a dog fight on our hands. Obviously, the cardio is going to be an issue, I think, for Nate as well. I think boxing is just a different level of cardio than basketball or even soccer or marathons or anything. This is just different. You know, the way you move your body. If you guys don't believe me, go out in your garage and punch in the air for 30 seconds and tell me you're not dead tired. Hard as you can. I just think it wasn't enough time for the guy. I really do. I think it wasn't enough time for him to learn the sport, get in great shape, believe in himself, believe in his training, and go in there, again, not thinking, but reacting. Not thinking about the combos and, oh, I got to make sure my hand's up here, this, that. Going in there and fighting without being a step behind Jake, because Jake's not going to be thinking. He's going to be in there throwing bombs. So long story short, I think the first round, Jake comes out, batters Nate, puts some shots on him, works the body. I think Jake does really well at working the body. I think he goes downstairs, works the body. And as we go into the second round, I think Jake does more of the same, except I think he goes upstairs more, and I think he ends a lot of those combos by really tagging Nate. Uppercuts, left hooks, straight rights. And either, you know, I think he gets the standing 8 for Nate, or possibly TKO KO. I think Jake closes the show in round 2. I really do. I think he puts Nate down maybe a couple times. I don't know. And listen, you guys know I'm not a Jake Paul fan, but I told you guys this. I've told you for the last month and a half that Nate's not ready. He doesn't have enough time in this sport. He has only learned this sport in the last couple of months. I know you guys showed me some videos of him working 5 years ago in a boxing gym. That man has not been training boxing for 5 years consistently, and you guys know that just as well as I do. Consistently, every day in the gym, Jake has been doing that for the last 2 years. This guy's been doing it for the last 4 months. There's just not enough time to make up that difference. And he hasn't been in a fight. Jake has multiple times. It's pretty simple why I'm picking the way I'm picking. Now, if Nate wants to win this fight, I think if he can survive a barrage, if he can try to rope-a-dope Jake a little bit in the first round, I don't even know if Nate has the ability to do this, but if he can absorb shots, because yes, Nate is very fast, and I'm sure he can avoid a lot of these shots early. If he can gas Jake, if he can get Jake to overexert early, the great equalizer is cardio. It doesn't matter how much better Jake is than Nate, if Nate can find a way to gas Jake, if he can find a way to, like I said, rope-a-dope, avoid shots, especially early on, make Jake be more aggressive than he wants to be, exert a lot of that energy early, and then start to implement a little bit of these things that he's learned over the last 4 months. That would be the way if Nate's going to win this fight. He has to be able to weaponize his cardio. I don't know if it's on that level, and that's why I said this earlier in this video. I don't think his cardio is at the level that Jake's is, because we've seen Jake go 6 rounds. But maybe Nate can get Jake to be a little over-aggressive, get him to tire out early in the fight, and then maybe, like I said, maybe take over later in the fight, because you can teach a guy a 1, 2, 3. You can teach that. You can teach a guy a double jab right hand, but you can't teach a guy to weaponize his cardio, and you can't teach a guy to not be tired, right? Because the one thing fighters fear more than being knocked out is getting tired, because then you can't defend yourself. Then you're in a compromised position where it doesn't matter what you want to do, your body will not allow you to do it. If Nate can get Jake to that point, if he can find a way to gas this dude early in the fight and then start to take over round by round, we could be in for something a little shocking. I would say that's on the small percentage side. But if Nate can gas the problem child, he could find himself in a very, very good position and shocking the entire content world. With that being said, I think Jake Paul wins this fight by KO/TKO in the second round. The problem child does away with yet another lackluster, underqualified, never before boxed opponent. Congratulations, Jake. Listen, Jake is the king of YouTube right now. He can do whatever he wants. KSI is waiting. That's a big, huge, massive fight for the YouTube community. We're going to be covering that. Austin McBroom apparently is out there waiting. A ton of YouTubers are lining up at the door. Logan Paul himself apparently might fight Jake. But sometimes it's the challenge that you don't see coming that ends up being the hardest one. You guys take that for what you want it to mean, and we'll see what happens in 2021.